All right, over here at the right side of the map, we have a Zerg player that many of you know. He's very good-mannered on the team FXO.
FXO Chef.
There's Rachel and the gun run. All right, his opponent, someone who took out QXC with relative ease. Can he do it again? A member of the team StarTale, a good Protoss.
StarTale, Tiger.
And right from the start, he is going to put his first pylon down on the low ground, so he looks to be doing some sort of fast expand, most likely a forward fast expand. You can Nexus first on this map. Very difficult to do so, though.
It is difficult normally, but he is lucky and did actually get cross positions on this map. He's going to have a little bit more distance between him and the Zerg player. Makes the rushing from the Zerg a lot more difficult.
Indeed, and that Overlord's going to see for Sheth at the same time that his opponent's not at close air distance, so both players are going to know right off the bat here that their opponents are at cross spawns with them.
I'm sure Tiger's going to feel very confident seeing this. However, he's going to still need to be able to react to a lot of different things. The Zerg player putting down the assimilator for it, or not assimilator, excuse
Extractor.
me. Oh my god.
Jeez, what a nub, Torch.
Yeah, I don't play Zerg, I play Terran.
Yeah, Torch is a Terran player. I'm a Protoss player. So he does see the gas first, which means it's going to be a Speedling expand, or at least that's the assumption. He's going to want to check and make sure that isn't some sort of Speedling Roach all in. That's why he's left his probe there. Now, when he sees this, it may trigger him to make a Nexus. You can go Nexus first at cross spawns against a Speedling expand. It's a little bit more difficult to do. If you're a newbie, you probably shouldn't try it, but it looks like he is going to make his Nexus here at 17. A little bit unusual. Normally you make it at 16. And that actually is going to somewhat delay his forge timing. But again, that spawning pool isn't quite done, and even when it is done, it's going to take a while for those lings to go over there. Sheth, not really known for his aggression. Sometimes, though, if you leave him an opening, he will go for it.
And the forge is going down right now, so he's going to finish that wall off in a little bit.
Yep. And that probe's still checking around for the hatchery, wants to make sure that hatchery does eventually get made. Because sometimes, like we saw yesterday, you can have roach all-ins happen, and if you don't scout the hatchery, or if you don't scout that your opponent stopped mining gas, and you don't really know it's coming, it can be quite devastating. And again, Tiger going to add a gateway here to help wall him off down at the bottom of his ramp. There's the first cannon. He makes the cannon relatively close to his Nexus, so not only can it defend his Nexus, but it can also get a pretty wide range of attack. As long as their melee units cannot hit the forge without the cannon covering it, and as well as the Nexus and the mineral line, then your cannon's a pretty decent cannon. And here come the first Zerglings now, 4 of them running across. Chet's going to want to hit this timing before the cannon finishes. He may very well be able to sneak them by, but I don't think so. The probe's even positioned there, and no, the cannon will finish, and these Zerglings will not be able to do anything.
And he does just stutter step in there just to get the vision to know exactly what's going on, exact building placements. He didn't quite see the pylon in the back, which finishes off the wall off, but he is going to get the vision that he does need to know exactly how to respond to it.
Indeed. Now, Sheth has taken his natural. Obviously, he stopped mining gas after he had enough for his speed. So from here, he's just going to drone up a little bit, and think about his next move carefully. There are a lot of different options. He could take a quick third, depending on how he wants to do it, and he is sending a drone over there. This may be for a very fast third, and that probe did see the drone, so he may decide to just not do it. The probe probably, Tiger right now probably saw that drone and is thinking, oh, you're taking a fast third. So that's really bad for Sheth, that the pros may think that, but he is going to go ahead and make it.
And he does have a little bit of time to be able to build up an army to defend this third. If he does get it up and mining properly, he is going to be at a slight advantage. The Protoss is able to get the first expansion up, but it only lasts so long until both bases are saturated. And then the third of the Zerg is actually going to give him a slight edge.
Exactly. Now notice Tiger has 2 cannons. Hold that thought. Stargate going down. Now, when you scout that your opponent's probably going to make a third base, you see that drone, the best response is to get a Stargate, get 1 Void Ray, and then follow it up with Phoenixes. That way, when the Phoenixes come, the Queens attack them. You can lift up the Queens with the Phoenix, and the Void Ray can deal damage to the hatchery. You take out the Queens faster, so usually just make 1 Void Ray, but the Overlord sees it.
He does see it, and he is going to be able to respond and get the proper number of Queens and Spore Colonies that he needs to defend against this. Hopefully, this does give Sheth a little bit of ability to counteract exactly what's going to be going on.
Yeah, this is one of the problems of getting the very, very fast Stargate. When you get the Sentry out, or you get the Stalker out quickly before that Stargate, you can kind of deal with these scouts, but unfortunately for Tiger, he just made that Stalker really late, and for that reason, unfortunately, his Stargate has been spotted, and even a second Stargate going down. I'm going to check Sheth's vision, make sure he saw that. He actually did not see that.
Now that's actually going to be quite huge, so he's going to be planning the defense based on one Stargate going out, but the second Stargate is going to change the numbers of the forces that are going to be coming and completely change exactly what's going to be needed to defend.
He's doing the Wolf build.
The Wolf build?
Ask T-Gun about this. Is actually the first time I ever played against T-Gun. Maybe it was a ladder game, not entirely sure what it was. This is actually the style I used to use a long time ago, where I would go Nexus first and then just make 2 Stargates, make about 3 Void Rays to kill the third, and then of course follow up with Phoenixes and take a third base, force Hydras at the very best, and then of course go up to that Death Ball. You know, the Death Ball style that was popular a while ago. Now a lot of Chrono Boost was saved up for Tiger, so he hasn't really been using that as well as he could have, so that's one thing I'd like to be critical of, because it's very important to get those Void Rays out quickly, keep your probe count up, and get Warp Gate research, etc., etc., those upgrades. Something he's really not doing is spending that Chrono Boost.
Well, he is starting to spend it right now on the air units. He didn't get the economy up like you were saying, but the amount of air units that he can Chrono Boost out right now is going to be a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, the Phoenixes build quite quickly after that was, of course, changed a few months ago. Now here come some of these Zerglings. There are several cannons, though. He's not going to be able to do a lot of damage. The probes will be set to stop positions, so the Zerglings will have to target them down, and that's exactly what Tiger is doing. The probes, only 1 or 2 of them going down. The Zerglings taking a ton of damage, though, and a few of them do decide to try to run by, and nope, doesn't get inside. He
only took out a little bit of probes in that engagement, and not exactly what he was hoping for. He didn't even get the scouting of the second Stargate like the last 2 Zerglings were trying to do. This is going to be very unfortunate. When all these air units do come in, Sheth is going to be in for a huge surprise.
Yeah, well, he does have some Spore Crawlers up. He's got a Spore Crawler at each base. His main is the only one that doesn't quite have one yet. It is being made right now, as you guys can see on the screen. So basically, Tiger is going to try to look for an opening here, but Sheth looks relatively prepared. And here come the Void Rays now. The Void Rays going to be the real damage dealers here, but that Spore Crawler may be enough to make him turn around. He's going to try to avoid it, maybe pick up drones, pick up the Queen, and then run away.
And this is a great time for Tiger if he can take out the defenses. Sheth is just transferring a bunch of drones here to this third.
He's trying to isolate the Queens when they're far away from the Spore Crawler. He's trying to bait them out, then pick them up when he's out of range of that Spore Crawler and take them out one by one. But smartly, Sheth does not overstep his bounds. But there are so many Phoenixes here. There are 5 Phoenixes as well as those 2 Void Rays. He's got to be very careful about this.
And Sheth did a great job of defending his third, but these Overlords are out in the open, and they are going to be picked off quite quickly. He does see it now, and he's going to try to move some of them away, but I don't think they're really going to make it.
Yeah, well, they were neglected there for a second, but Tiger does know, so he's going to take them out now. Sheth is actually supply blocked in the red at 109 over 94. So losing these Overlords is pretty critical. He's going to have to make a lot of those. He can only make 2 Hydralisks right now. He's actually got 6 Overlords in production. He's going to lose another Overlord here in the main, but he does get a lot of information with that.
Yes, he does finally see that there is 2 Stargates coming. That's why there are so many air units that he didn't quite expect. But he is actually doing a great job of defending against this. The Overlord loss is a little bit big, but it's not a huge setback. It's just a little bit of time.
Now, Sheth is using these Zerglings in the middle of the map to run around the map, try to spot. Are you taking a third base? Because if you are, I'm just going to make you cancel it. So doing a great job with this group of Zerglings over here at the west side of the map.
And smartly keeping his army in between all 3 of his bases so that he can run to whichever one he needs to help with.
Exactly. Now, right now, Tiger has gone up to about 6 gates. Looks like Sheth's going to try to attack here, maybe take out an Assimilator. That would be huge. I'm not sure if it's worth the investment, but he's going to take out some probes as well. And that Assimilator will fall. Interesting idea here to try to take out the Assimilator. Does, of course, significantly limit the gas intake of Tiger.
And that gas is exactly what you need to produce these very gas-heavy air units. So limiting that will limit the forces that come out, maybe make the second Stargate completely useless.
Yeah, well, right now there are 6 Void Rays out, 2 more on the way, so it's going to be 8 Void Rays here in just a second. I think Tiger's just going to hit a timing attack here. He's gone up to 6 gates. Now he's going to stop Void Ray production. He actually is stopping that Void Ray production. And he's going to hit this timing where he's got a lot of Void Rays, and if they charge up, they're going to get really scared. And he's just going to use the gateways that he's just recently made to kind of finish him off.
But there are a lot of Banelings coming in here from Sheth. They will be able to deal with those Zealots and Sentries quite easily if he gets them to the front lines. There are also a scary number of Hydras in this army. He is going to lose a few units at his 3rd expansion.
And here come the Hydras now. There are a lot of them, as you said. They do not have any upgrades whatsoever. And Tiger doesn't have any upgrades either, so no upgrades for either player. Here come the Banelings running forward, actually getting past the force fields, doing a lot of damage. The Hydra's starting to do some serious damage as well, but I don't know if there are enough. The Void Ray is just doing so much damage, while the Hydra's not able to fire upon them, and this is looking really bad for Sheth. He's losing a lot here. Several Banelings lifted up as well. Sheth losing a lot of his army, more reinforcements warping in at that pylon. I think Sheth is in trouble.
A lot of these Protoss units are out of shields, but they still have their health, so they are going to be able to recover. If he does pull back slightly, or Sheth does not force a second engagement immediately, the expansion is going to go down for Sheth, or maybe not quite yet.
Yeah, he did decide to back off. Now more reinforcements coming out for Sheth. He does have a lot of Hydras in production, 7 more of them on the way, but he's just got this huge army to deal with. A lot of those Protoss units are, like you said, starting to take damage. Their shields are gone, so whenever he engages now, he's taking a lot of hits, and it looks like Sheth is just going to sacrifice his hatchery, trying to save his drones. Sheth is 20 supply up right now, but remember, a lot of that is in drones.
And this Protoss army is going to be reinforced very, very quickly. None of these Stalkers were here at the beginning of this fight. Now there's a gigantic number of them. They don't have Blink or anything like that, but with this air army support, they are very, very scary. I don't know why he hasn't taken out this expansion quite yet.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that he decided to leave that alone. Actually, now it looks like he is going to go and take it out. But there are a few drones mine there. They'll probably be cleaned up as well. And right now, Tiger, he realizes he's got to basically win with this, or at least do a ton of damage. He's already done a significant amount of damage, but Sheth still has a decent economy if he can recover from this, but I just don't think that he can, Torch. There's just so many units.
He does have a decent economy, however, his supply advantage is in drones, so the armies are about equal. The other thing, though, is that he is trying to get an expansion, but hold that thought. We do have a fight going on here. He's pulling his drones to try to surround these Stalkers and force them to fight. The air units of the Protoss army are dwindling. This is actually going to give Sheth a huge advantage in this fight, and he is going to be able to force Tiger to pull back. Oh my god.
I can't believe he was able to pull that off, Torch. He just saved up enough, made a ton of Hydras. Now he's got a huge supply lead, and he's got a great army. So basically, there's no way for Tiger to reasonably take a third base. Sheth trying to take this gold base over here. It will be thwarted. He may have to cancel it, but he is going to try to save it. But even so, Sheth's remaking that base, that third base. He can remake a fourth as well, and there's really nothing Tiger can do about it at this point. He just doesn't have the units he needs.
And his army does show up just in time to be able to save this. The Void Ray is going to do a little bit of damage to it, but the expansion is going to go up, allowing him to mine from this forward expansion, in addition to be able to produce units from very close to Tiger's main base.
Yeah, Tiger is just now starting his robotics facility. Colossi are a far, far away dream right now for Tiger. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to get those important Colossi out.
And he does have the robotics facility going up, but it is going to be a long time, as you were saying. The Zerglings are also burrowed near the third base of the Protoss player, so he's not going to be able to expand anytime soon. This is looking very, very good for Sheth.
Yeah, I mean, like you just said, that Zergling's bird there, and like I just said, there's no Robo. How is he going to kill those Zerglings? So it's just not going to happen. And Sheth looking really good. He looked so dead, but he just barely had enough units, even using those drones in that fight. That's all he had to do, crush the army. Kill most of the army, and then he can almost do whatever he wants. There's the robotics bay. It's just being made. Colossi, though, still a little ways away. Once you make that, it's still expensive. He's still on 2 base, and things are looking pretty rough for Tiger. Right now, Sheth transferring some more drones. That gold base is up. It's relatively weak, so if he darts in and tries to snipe it, it will be relatively exposed. I think that's why he hasn't really put that many drones there right now.
It's interesting where Sheth's keeping his army so far back where if Tiger actually knew about this, he could just dart forward and take out the expansion like you were saying. Normally, I would like to see the army more in a position to counterattack if the Protoss army moved out, seeing as the expansion of the Protoss is quite weak at this point. There are a lot of Banelings going in. Are they going to be able to catch the Zealots? They do take out a large number of them. That is going to be huge. Continuing to move on, take out even more. Oh, that's a huge mistake by Tiger.
Yeah, that was a great little move there by Sheth. He realizes he's kind of getting close to that max point, so he wants to use some of his units to just keep his opponent's army size low. So he just went in there with those Banelings. Was very surprising, and he was able to take out, like you said, several of those Zealots, damage a lot of the Stalkers as well. And this army from Sheth, even with no creep to support it, is so scary. It looks so silly walking across. It's like a march of the Hydras, the Roaches, the Speedbanes, and I don't know if Tiger can hold this.
Yeah, and Tiger feeling the pressure of this large army of Zergs, not able to even get an observer to be able to take down the Zergling. He is going to need to use photon cannons to get the observing, and just try to desperately help.
Walk into the army and die immediately.
Ooh.
This is looking really bad for Tiger. There's so many Hydras. Even though he isolates them with those force fields, the more and more are just running up here, and I think this is going to be the end for Tiger. He just doesn't have enough units.
And Sheth is going to be able to take his first victory.
GG!
Oh my god. This is the first GSTL victory for a foreign team. Wow. It was really exciting to see that Sheth looked a little bit nervous in the beginning. He did take a few minutes to have to go to the bathroom or something else. But when he came back, he did play that game very safe. He saw the expansion going up from the Protoss player and was able to intelligently, like he lost the first battle, but then he was able to intelligently pull back and defend his second and third and build up the army to be able to counterattack.
Yeah, killing that army is so crucial. That's basically all he had to do. And He was able to save up, and he managed. That's like the best crisis management anyone's ever seen. I mean, really. FX owned.
I think Tiger, just like the StarTale coach, got a little overconfident. And once he took out the third and the fourth of Sheth, he tried to move in for the all kill instead of backing off and getting more.
Yeah, he was a little indecisive. He didn't even kill that base very quickly. Damaged it a lot, and he just wasn't sure what to do. If he had just killed Sheth's army repeatedly while it was kind of in a small state without letting it get big, he would have been much better. But he kind of just hung out there with his army for a little while, and Sheth was just able to get barely enough units to kill that army. Then it was the wrong timing to go in there, and he went in there, lost his entire army, and then Sheth was like, what are you going to do? You can't take a third base. You don't have robotics tech, and I'm just going to retake my bases and attack you, and you're never going to take a third base. Never going to take it.
Yeah, so that was a beautiful game by Sheth. Tiger did make a few mistakes, but Sheth also played almost flawlessly the entire time. Very impressive.
It was extremely impressive. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm an FXO. That was actually, I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead, man. I was like, oh, Sheth's going to lose, but then he pulled it out.
StarTale was saying before that they were going to all kill FXO, so that has been thwarted a little bit, but what are you going to do?
It's very good for the mentality. Like, right after the game, looked over there, and Dan, the other coach, Unstable, gave him a high five. As, you know, he and I coach the team together. We talk about all the specific maps and matches. We walk around the team house just kind of wandering around, making sure that everyone's practicing, making sure we know whose matchups are the strongest. Because you might think your matchup is your best matchup. You know, I'm like, oh, my PVT is pretty good, but someone will tell me, like, oh, it's not that good, actually. Your PVZ is much better. Someone who watches you play every day, hours and hours, knows better than you do. So we just kind of watch these guys pick out their matchups, and you know that's kind of what we do. So we're really proud of what we've decided. You know, we thought if QXC loses, we send out Sheth, and so far it's been working really well for us.
And that's something that's really great that you guys are able to do because you are in the same team house. A lot of foreign teams have the ability to do something like that, but they aren't in the same place, and it's very, very difficult to get that practice.
All right, who's it going to be from StarTale? It is going to be... oh, lots of fakes here. It's going to be Ace.
No, that is Curious.
Oh, I thought it was Ace. My bad.
That's Curious, one of their stronger Zerg players. Not July, but he has been training with the team for quite a while.
Jeez, that's like so embarrassing, man. I really thought that was Ace. I know what Ace looks like too, man.
So we are going to have a ZVZ. Maybe, is this one of Sheth's stronger games? Or?
Sheth, his ZVZ is pretty solid. We actually considered that if he had to play against July, we would use him as well. Because T-Gun's ZVZ isn't that strong, and July is just strong overall. And ZVZ is one of those matches where things can just kind of go awry if you're good at it. And your opponent, even though he's way better than you, can still kind of pull out a win. So we felt pretty confident about Sheth's ZVZ. He has been practicing it a little bit. He's more focused on ZVP. He hasn't been here for long, like I said, but I think he'll be pretty comfortable with this match.
And Curious is a pretty solid player from StarTale. He did do quite well in the March Code A. Well, he did okay to stay in there, but then he actually made it into July Code S. So you are going to be seeing him next week in Code S. Very scary player. Quiet person in person, doesn't like dogs for whatever reason. StarTale had a dog for a little while, and he was always afraid of him. But
what kind of dog was it?
I don't know. A black dog.
Was it a big dog or
medium-sized dog?
Okay, so maybe like a small Labrador Retriever.
Might have been, yeah. It was Ace's dog, so.
Ah, well, you know, I thought he looked like Ace. Actually, a little trivia for you guys. I had a dog named Ace. Seriously.
And that dog had a dog named Haku.
No, it didn't, actually.
Alright.
Torch. Alright, so we are going to take a quick 2-minute break here before we jump into the next set, so we'll see you guys then.